Welcome everyone. Welcome to this TF live production of the ozfortress Season 27 Premier Lower Page Playoff matchup between Not Older Gamers and Thunderbirds. I am Peter. I'm being joined today by, it is Core on production, and we've got Rocky aka krollic with the co-caster. How are you doing tonight?
Hey guy, how's it going?
Yeah, we are literally casting from two opposite corners of the world. I've done my homework. I've checked on the map. If you dig a hole through the ground from Denmark, you end up in New Zealand.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. The internet is pretty awesome that way.
Yep, I love that diversity. So we've got NoG and TBZ, I think I'll call them. They are the 3rd and 4th seed teams respectively.
Yeah, and do we know what the maps are going to be yet? Because it's going to be a best of 3, and then they're going to do pick bans on maps, if I understand correctly. Is that correct?
I imagine. Have they picked the maps yet? Which ones are they, Core? Yep. Gully, Snake, and Granary. So we're going to start with Gully.
Alright, so the best map in the game is going to be the startup point. I like this. That's very good. So before we start talking too much about the maps, why don't we talk about the teams before we get into that.
So they've got Lock on Medic, Cookie is playing, Susurrus River is playing Pocket Scout, we've got Silver on Flank Scout, Ender's the Demo Man, and Doge and Hertz are playing Soldier. I'm not quite sure which respective Soldier roles they're playing at the moment. They seem to mix them around a bit. I think Doge might be Pocket actually. Or Roma, I'm not quite sure, we'll find out.
And is this one of those teams where you just have like a Pocket Demo and a Scout and then soldiers can do whatever they want? Or?
They really have been mixing it around quite a lot this season, just seeing what works for them. So they're quite fluid about that. And on the red team, we've got TBZ, aka Thunderbirds. And I believe they've got Gooseman, aka Ryan. He should be playing Demo. Oh no. He should be Soldier actually, because they've got Defn on Demo. And then what else have they got? They've actually mixed their team around a lot as well, it would seem. So I think Dork is playing Scout and Trooper as well, of which I don't know which roles they're quite on. What else have they got? Riot should be... I think Riot's actually pocketing now, from what I understand, which is a bit of a change up for them.
Oh, that's interesting. I know him as one of the best roamers in the world. And yeah, now he's just on Pocket.
Well, that's what I've been told. So yeah, a lot of big mix-ups. It's going to make it confusing for us, I think.
Everything is as it should be. Casters are confused.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on. That's pretty standard. So just curious, who are the two best, or the two higher seeded teams in this season? Because I haven't been paying attention at all to the season of ozfortress.
Well, currently it's Happy Feet, which also they go by Coffee Clock, and they are ranked Seed 1 rather, and then my team Butterfly Effect is currently Seed 2. I wouldn't say we're the second best team necessarily, but those are the seeds, and these guys are...
Well, you got to ride it while you can, right? So
yeah,
you are the second best team until proven otherwise. So.
Yeah, I mean technically. I mean, I'm not going to boast about it, but...
Do it. Come to the dark side. Boast about it.
Yeah.
Oh, never miss an opportunity to boast. But yeah, it's kind of wild to see like Cookie on the 3rd seeded team, I guess, or 4th. I don't even know who's who. And like Hertz, I recognize everyone on these.
I think it's an extremely close season. I do think that when any of these teams are playing at their best, they could take it. It's very enjoyable to watch and exciting.
Yeah, that's usually the best TF2, where you just don't know who's actually going to come our way with it.
Who wants to watch to even pinpoint it's fucking boring.
Yeah. Like, super teams can be good for the game, but at some point, it kind of loses its appeal. You know?
Yeah, I like the idea of super teams kind of incentivizing people to step up their game and challenge that, like that sort of contention, the competitive nature, but it really does seem any of these teams could succeed and win, which is awesome.
Alright, so let's talk about the map a little bit. So we've gone through the rosters, and Golly Wars, I would say, to put it simply, is that it's like a very strong demo man map. It's a pretty close map where it's very easy to do some fast pushes. So with that in mind, like it's demo man dominated, and you can do fast pushes. Which team do you think is going to benefit the most from that?
I mean, I definitely give the demo man advantage to Enrif over Deft, simply as a result of him being far more experienced. Not that Deft's a bad demo man at all; he's very good, and also think Team NoG on blue. They've been practicing and reviewing Gully Wash very extensively, along with a lot of other maps. I'm not quite sure how much TBC have been practicing lately, but I really would give the advantage, especially in terms of demo man, to NoG, particularly on mids.
Yeah. I feel like Gully Wash is one of those maps where mid is not actually that important compared to other maps where, like for instance, Granary, where we're going later. Mid fights can be really important on Granary, whereas on Gully Wash it's pretty easy to kind of come back and lock chokes down.
I'm inclined to agree quite a fair bit, unless it's a completely dominant like mid, because you can really transfer that momentum from winning mid to last on this map quite well if you do it successfully.
Yeah, indeed, you can just skip second pretty much. That's kind of how the map is designed.
That's quite rare though. Typically, we find some sort of second point resistance if that team does lose the mid fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And then last point, I'd say it's one of those where team cohesion is really important. It's like everyone needs to have an agreement on who's watching which store and making sure people can't like sneak into water, and make sure that it's all locked down at all times so that you don't get spammed out or you have someone jump in from either balcony or water or even from the point itself.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Like the level of coordination and the roles being established on Gully Wash for pushing and for the defense is just completely critical. I think it's actually one of the hardest last to defend without an Uber versus an Uber, to be honest, because it really feels like teams today have got a very good grasp of how to push into Gully Wash last successfully and win most of the time. Due to the nature of the map's small last point, it's very, very easy to get in and do a tremendous amount of damage with the Uber and take a lot of ground, which is why you really don't want to be on last a lot of the time, I think.
Yeah, it is very small, and you get to them very quickly, and you can just immediately pile onto the point very quickly. But with all that being said, we've theorized what's going to happen here, but we are live now, so it's going to be, was it NoG versus Thunderbirds?
Yep,
best out of 3, first map, and take us away on this first one.
Okay. It looks like Enrif getting a tremendous amount of damage into that banana there, and Hertz is under, so you can expect some sort of collapse very soon, I think.
Oh no, he's got a soldier underneath.
Surprisingly, it's TBZ with the aggression there, despite having what I would call a lesser positioning. I wonder if they're going to come back in here. Oh no, they forfeited.
Yeah, they didn't quite get enough off of that aggression there. The soldiers came in, did some decent amount of damage, but the rest of their team was pretty much too weak to really follow up properly. So right now they just have Dork in big door, just holding that, and then they have managed to secure a choke there.
Yeah.
I feel like we actually could have seen a really fast push through choke if they had been really on top of things, but they don't want to risk that. So we're going to have our first stalemate
as well, yeah. To be honest, I think that mid could have gone in the favor of the red team. They were given a lot of ground there after the initial rollout to do something. But
Silvo goes in super aggressive.
Really
like, there's no way he lives, right? There's no way. Okay, thank God. I would have actually been upset. Actually, he sorted through the drop down. Gonna see if he can sneak his way in, but he is not quite sneaky enough, and he actually gets called out. But he gets in through the choke. He
gets quite a fire.
Yeah.
Well, this is the cancerous thing about Gully Wash, you know. Even if you lose a player, it's very, very easy to hold middle. So you can just kind of sack indefinitely if you like.
Yeah, we very often see, like, the mid team has a lot of options. They can also sneak players through the big door, like we see Silvo right now. He is kind of snuck behind. I think he's trying to take a 1v1. Finds a soldier, actually wins it with the help of a soldier. It was not a 1v1, it was a 2v2. And actually going to go in favor of NoG, and now they're going to have a ton of space to work with.
Ah dear. Oh, Hertz gets the force. That's huge. I didn't quite see that. I was expecting some sort of trade with that player advantage from the blue team, but Hertz used that opportunity to break in and get the force, so that's massive. So NoG is going to retain Uber, and we're going to see them push into second quite soon once Hertz is up. Whether or not they're going to retain the charge as they come in is yet to be seen.
Riot's going for the big sink. Oh, did he time it right? almost did. He got a
so
lot of
close.
damage onto Lock. Yeah, that was a really nice play. He knew what was going to happen, and you know, just a half a second later jump, and I think he would have timed it perfectly. But I guess he didn't turn off his wall hacks just yet. But it's going to be a full Uber advantage, and this is what you were talking about. This is going to be very difficult to hold.
They're so close to Uber on the red team. Are they going to get it?
They're going to try their best, but Connor gets trapped in spawn, cannot get out without dying. Now there's just a ton of pressure on. They haven't put pressure onto the point at all. They're just going for the kills. There's just a single soldier left, so they get all those kills just like they wanted to, and that's going to be 1-0 right away. That was a very commanding push.
I kind of like how you don't really need to contest the point there if you're just killing people. You can take it slow and play that sort of advantage, especially if the enemies are gonna, you know, kind of.
Yeah, they actually try to get out of spawn. Sometimes they'll just sit in spawn and you need to get onto the point, otherwise you're going to lose time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that worked out really well.
Massive damage coming up from him on the start. That's going to really whittle them down. I'm surprised the NoG soldiers don't want to collapse on that so much, but they are getting the frags. While Deft owning them.
Oh my god, this is so aggressive across the point right now. But actually, Medic goes down. Cookie comes in from behind, really salvages that mid. So now they can just play around that Medic and choke. And they just not get overwhelmed. And it looks like they have staved off the pressure there from Shupa. It's going to be a scout around the corner as well. Gets taken down. So that looked like it was going to be a mid for Thunderbirds. But just in the nick of time, they managed to loot their Medic.
Yeah, quite unfortunate. I think Thunderbirds really expected NoG to just kind of retreat there, and they seem to get a bit complacent in regards to protecting their medic. Gooseman completely railing Silvo. Maybe this is going to slow down the push somewhat. Oh, he's actually going for the sack. I don't think that should achieve anything.
Yeah, he gets body blocked by a scout. That's always sad times when you jump in and just gets completely stalled midair. Not much for him to do there. And they're going to have another Uber advantage. There's a sticky trap in lobby, so they need to be a little bit careful, not just run in blind and go in here. And no, Connor, he's building Uber as fast as he can, so they need to go in here before they lose this advantage.
He shouldn't get it. The gun and heavy on the same side. I can't say I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, they've shifted their medic around. Connor, he's still alive, but he's still building. He's on 80%, but they've lost so many players. And it's just going to be the Demo Man alive. I have seen Demo Man hold this, but not today.
That's called the Turmo spot underneath the point like that, as far as I'm aware.
Alright.
Yeah, the problem with being under there is if your team dies, the enemy team can just, 6v1 you or whatever, and you just can't sustain that as a demo underneath the point. I think a massive problem with that hold they just did was having the gun, well, basically 2 sentries on the same side. And
yeah, the Goose actually goes up and just takes down Endless immediately, so no Demo Man for them on this mid. And now we're just going to see Thunderbirds trying to walk across the point here, but actually, oh my god, that was a massive bomb there from Doge, completely shut them down. Connor's going to die for sure, there we go. And despite losing the Demo Man very early on, they managed to come back and take that mid.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that Ryan trades with a demo, like a soldier for a demo there, but it really does take a while for that sort of damage advantage to accumulate, Like, if the enemy team just completely collapses immediately, they can kind of negate that. Because soldier is oftentimes a lot more reliable when it comes to putting out damage than like a Demo Man in a short period of time, I find.
Yeah, Demo Man, he's kind of this class where he just gets a ton of done work very early on, and then in an extended fight, he's just kind of awkwardly reloading stickies one by one. But yeah,
Shupa not dying very quickly. He's achieving a lot here. If his teammates can survive, this is going to be a successful last, I think.
Scouts on the point now, though. Putting a ton of pressure on it, but the lock has gone down. It's just going to be a DM fight. It's going to be man advantage versus heal advantage, and man advantage wins out. So 3-0. Quick succession. These are very quick rounds. Only 7 minutes off the clock so far. So this is looking really strong right now. Yep. So yeah, Thunderbirds, they really need to rethink this, I think, and find out a way how to stop these mid fights from happening and then just getting slow.
I feel a bit bad for Shupa, because he completely negated that Uber and his team kind of sat on the floor and ate shit post.
Yeah.
Doge with a huge bomb on the Connor, but still alive. Oh, he dies.
He actually got launched into by a huge air shot. He just rode that explosion right into them. Vi's going to come in. He's on 2 HP, does get Silvo, but again, survive with the Demo Man, a scout, and a medic. That's just about as optimal of a surviving crew as you can get. Scout to cap, Demo Man to trap forward, and the medic to build Uber. So this is just looking like another really quick round here, unless they figure out how to hold this last point.
NoG are completely content with just killing the medic and then playing that heal ad on the clock, just dragging it out, which they seem to be doing quite a lot.
Alright, we've got the turbo spot for the Demo Man. We've got the sentry gun on the right side and the movable sentry in the heavy on the other sides. So that's better already. They're listening to you.
I would switch their positions, to be honest. Losing Ryan here is really not good. You need every man you can get for this defense. Don't be surprised if Silver walks under here.
Alright, they're going to come in here with the Uber. They identify the center gun, take him down, take down the heavy as well. Again, they're not putting any pressure onto the point, but the Demo Man is just alone here in this water. It's going to be a 5v6.
Why even bother with Diff on the point there when you can just completely eradicate his team while he's not being relevant, and then just do a team collapse on him? That's the inherent weakness of the turmoil spot. It's just you just don't contribute during fight.
Yeah, they very early on, like it looked like Silver was going to go into water, but he saw the sticky, so they knew exactly where the Demo Man was. They played it out really well.
Well, Connor instantly going down to Hertz. Expect Lock to post the heals on his scouts here. Can you do it, Ryan? Come on! Oh, so close.
Oh. Yeah, Goose gets executed at the very end there, so Lock almost dying, but almost dying is as good as not dying. So it's going to be another mid-fight, another Uber advantage. Like if Lock would just die on some of these mids, it would be completely fine. They could just get a proper last hold. But as it feels right now, it's just this steam train that just keeps on going, and they need to cut off the engine somehow, but they just can't. And the engine is
completely owned that medic on the rollout. Just pummeled him with 2 rockets. Oh, fantastic! We're seeing the heavy Uber ad push. Personal favorite.
Oh boy. He's just going to post up on the balcony and just shoot people down, you think?
I typically find that heavies follow in after the Uber. Yeah, quite like this. Although I haven't seen it from the balcony that often, but it should work out fine.
Indeed. They're actually trying, there's actually a spy on the point trying his best to revolve the people down, but yeah, they're not going to get that. I mean, the heavy was fine. It didn't really do much. As you said, it's usually something you do with the even Ubers, right? Where you go in, you exchange, and then the heavy just comes in fully buffed on the balcony, and no one has any ammo left because it just exchanged, and then he just mows people down.
Typically, I find that the heavy usually follows the Uber through roller, but balcony makes a lot of sense as well. I'd like to try that, actually. It's quite cool.
Yeah, that's kind of what we always do in Europe, I think.
Oh,
I mean, it's not like...
You guys have a fucking history of running heavy all the time, don't you?
Yeah.
Goes back many years.
Yeah, I don't know. It really has been a while since I've seen this.
I'm just teasing. But you can't forget that Euros run heavies and they can't airstrafe. That's a fact.
Yeah. That is all 100% true. All right, so Cookie had a perfect game.
Did he?
Yeah, he went 20 kills, 0 deaths.
Jesus.
So yeah, his KD is just bugged out. It doesn't register.
Give me a second. I'll bring them up. Oh, thank you, Gordon.
Yeah, there's probably not a whole lot we can learn from these logs. I think we can just say that the mid fights were super, like, just commanding in the way they were won, and then they were just really good at converting those big advantages into rounds.
Pretty much. That's the nature of. I think that's really the nature of Gully. If you get a very commanding mid, you really just can carry that momentum immediately to last with very little contention a lot of the time, if done properly.
Yeah, some teams are really good at kiting those Ubers when they come in, though. There's usually like a pyro and a sentry and a heavy and whatnot.
Yeah.
And you can kind of push people back a little bit without dying, and then you can rotate through spawn and have people in water. And like these pushes can fizzle out if you have a heavy alive at the end of all the initial shenanigans. So it is pretty difficult to make it work every single time with these pushes. But
well, the most successful last defense we saw did involve a pyro where Chupa completely like negated the Uber, but the team didn't really post up around it. The defensive team. I also think there were some other problems. Like aside from having both sentries on the same side, I reckon you just can't afford to have the demo man just sit underneath the point, not contributing and last. I really do think he needs to help out a little bit more than that, because you really can just treat him like a player down. And also, I would say that I think Brass Beast should just be run on last compared to the stock. It seems to do far more damage and tank so much more. I don't know what you reckon about that.
I don't know. I've never been a big fan of Brass Beast. I guess the main thing about it is that it like has the damage reduction, right? Is it like 15 or 20% damage reduction on it?
Yeah, but you really can't disrespect the extra bonus damage from it. I pretty much only use it. I'm a big advocate.
Alright, yeah, but I don't know. I have never really been that big of a fan of it because normally when you go heavy, you kind of sit around spawn and then at some point you just walk into spawn and switch, and you can't do that with Brass Beast. Like you're committed. You are just for all intents and purposes, you are a sentry gun being like healed and tanked.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing if you can just really just tank a lot of that initial entry for your team. That can be winning in itself. But it probably is not as ideal on Gully Wash compared to other maps, I would say.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, for instance, something on, like, Process, where it's very easy to have a heavy sit-in spawn and actually contest the point. Like, I feel like that would change things, right?
What are you saying, sorry?
Yeah, it would change things there, because you can actually just have a heavy spawn and it be good, so you can just have a Brass Beast and you can just immediately switch. Yep. Whereas on some other maps, I don't know, like Sunshine or something, like you can't sit and spawn as heavy and contribute. So you probably have to like be a little bit faster so you can walk back. But yeah, we are already going here on map number 2. They're very quick to start. I can appreciate that. Let's hope for Thunderbirds that they can really do some good work here. And Goose is just in immediately.
Yeah, right. Nice. TBZ really need to slow this down here, I think. Riot almost dying, but he makes tremendous space while surviving, which is the critical thing. So I think TBC really should just win this middle. Expect this, the rush from the scouts here. Oh no, they're retreating.
Yeah, indeed. It's kind of the opposite of what we saw in all the other mids, where a lock goes down and Connor can just sit back and heal up his team and wait. Hurt's going to be hiding here behind these logs, and actually he does super, so that's a pretty decent trade right here.
Yeah, it could really just slow down this last push.
Yeah, and just because it's a scout, like they're not going to be able to cap as fast. Silvo going to be very aggressive. He actually gets Riot here. That's a really nice trade from him again. And Soldier comes in, very aggressive, tries to find that medic. Connor holds on to it. Very ballsy.
You got to check these corners as you're pushing, especially with enemy mids dead. You just can't afford to drop players or get forced, God forbid. But it does seem like they've retained it, so we should see some sort of Uber into last advantage. And the blue team, NoG, they are not running a gun, but they are running a heavy on top of the point.
Yeah, they're going to come with the Uber from lower. They're trying to take out this heavy on top of the point.
He's not dying.
He does not die. Okay, there we go. Finally he does die, but he took up a lot of time
and
ammo right there.
So close.
Very close there, but now I think the tides have really turned. There's going to be a Goose coming in here. Oh no! Just jumps right into a soldier, gets completely stalled in the air, and gets air shot, and he has to go out of there and can't make it in time. So that will be a successful hold. Locke survived all that. He's going to have a full Uber advantage, and it's going to be tough. But hey, that was a good start to the map on Thunderbirds.
Yeah, it was welcome change. It really felt like they kind of just beefed on that heavy a lot. And there was a point where, you probably noticed, where the point was completely open and they weren't really capping, which I think they should have exploited with some sort of scout.
Yeah, Soldier in the air cannot hit the air shot. Instead, Doe's going to hit the Knights direct there on Riot. But yeah, like Snakewater is one of those last points where I feel like you need to.
He gets body shot. Ryan's in also.
Wow. Oh my god, he gets the Soldier as well. Dog. Going absolutely huge. They're even taking down the Soldier as well after everything is said and done.
And Ryan's
going down to.
And Connor, but Connor gets dropped. That's pretty tragic. I still think they should be able to contest this middle, maybe. They're really low. Are they going to do it? They're going to have to fight heals very soon, so I don't think they're actually going to be able to recap middle. That's the red thing.
It's going to be very difficult. They're definitely still fighting it. Losing their medic there, really crucial. It's going to throw the game into chaos until everyone gets some heals up and can gather around the medic. That looks like what's going to be happening right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took a while. It's always when both medics die, I don't know, like people get filled with bloodlust, and a lot of people will just go forward and just to abuse all the holes that's going to be in the defense. Doe's going to jump through. He kind of bangs his head a bit against the ceiling, so he doesn't come through properly. And now he's just taking a ton of damage. But this is just a grass fight going on right now.
Strong collapse there by the NoG team, although they do get an inner.
Yeah, Dogs
This
is
could be
behind
done.
lines right now. Actually kind of winning the fight against the Cookie, but not getting the kill. So he's going to be a bit too little too late there, so Silver will take him down. Ubers are almost even though, so this last point, it's going
they
to be
recognize
difficult
it, though?
to... Yeah, it's going to be difficult to stem the tide here initially, if they actually decide to push in with the man advantage. And then you can get forced very easily, but they decide not to go for that. So instead, we're going to just have Hertz go on Sniper, and then just slow things down a bit.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Indeed.
Big shame after that series of kills that TBZ got on NoG before with the sniper and stuff. I feel very upset if that kind of got thrown away due to a drop.
Hertz goes for a cheeky peek. And
Yeah.
it's actually, we don't have the sentry gun right now going on. Hertz is going to get taken
I think that's
down.
a massive mistake. I think there's really no excuse not to have a gun, even when you have Uber yourselves. It's just the gun is just so excellent at defending against like bombs and stuff.
Yeah, it even shuts down the sniper from the drop down, or whatever you want to call it.
Speaking of which,
Dog tries to go for the counter sack, does not get him. So it is still a man advantage right now for NoG.
I think they should be sacking here. Or they go for trade instead. Does Riot die here? No.
Gets saved by his medic. And actually, oh no, Locus gets caught in. I think he could have made it out there, but actually Depths gets taken down. It was just all a big bait. And Locke just walks away taking 0 damage. They take down Riot. Everyone else has gone down. It's just going to be Doc on heavy, but he has nowhere enough firepower or help to stem the tide, and that's going to be 1-0 in favor of NoG. Once again, just continuing the freight train, but it took a bit longer. It took about 6 minutes for that round to come in here, and they had to defend last as well.
Yeah, that aggressive scout trade that we just saw is very favourable at the moment in the Oz scene, where you take like a solo scout against enemy players who might have a couple of players dead and stuff, and you just trade and then play that post.
Very
Ryan
passive
again, man, absolutely killing himself with it.
Yeah, he's very aggressive there, but both teams started out being really passive, and right now Riot, he's so weak. He gets an arrow, and now he's going to jump in here, try to contest Hertz up top. Looks like he's going to do a pretty good job of that, but no one has died at all from NoG, and they just took it super slow, didn't really take any initial damage after that very quick bomb from the soldier, and then we're just able to slowly pick them off. Oh,
well,
actually a speed jump in from Doge.
Good sack attempt. Yeah, but if you immediately kill an enemy player early on to mid, like, why would you want to rush it, you know? Just take it slow, play that attrition. Although Enrif does get picked off, which is going to make defending here quite a bit easier. Is Hertz going to get the scout? Wow, that's pretty huge from him, getting that soldier there.
Yeah, can't get one, but just gets another. That's how good players do. But somehow...
I think it's going to stop the red team being able to push into the middle here.
Yeah, pushing Snake Middle can be very difficult. There's not really like a big obvious route where you can go in where you don't get spammed out. It has to go through a choke or end up on the low ground. So there's going to be a soldier fight here in Saw. Goose going to lose that one, but immediately Def going to take down Doge, so he has been avenged. But just so much pressure onto the second point is going to mean everyone just walks back out.
Yeah, not just using that player out to just muscle out the red team. I think TBZ made the right choice to go to last there, although they do get forced. So this should, are they going to push back in? Surely not. That may be.
Yeah, it wasn't that good of a Uber trade there. Like, it was pretty much just the scout versus a scout Uber. Like, it took so long before Locke's Uber actually forced Connors, so...
Yeah,
because he actually has a bit of a...
Yeah, I would much rather have seen like some sort of sack as opposed to a trade there.
Yeah, Hertz is being aggressive down bottom. Looks like he actually wants to make a play. He is way in. But
all Red need to just push out here without dying to traps and spam. Looks like Riot's going to try and clear the upper door. This is one of the hardest areas to push out, I find, traditionally.
Yeah, there have been like periods in time where 3-man sacks were very common, just because of how difficult it is. I feel like those don't really happen too much anymore. It's just going to be a single soldier coming out here and not going to be able to get Lock. Yeah. Good movement from him.
I've seen 4-man and 5-man sacks.
5-man?
Yeah, not even joking. The mid just like pisses off back to spawn.
Alright, that's pretty funny. That can't be a good move.
No. It's a bit excessive at that point.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, I do remember doing 4-man sacks as well, where you just had like a soldier and a medic, and you just sit on the house and just hold it for as long as possible, and then when they come out, you just exchange who go out on second, because fighting on second is easier than fighting into last.
Yep.
You just roll from there.
So we're going to see the sniper v sniper. Again, I think it's a really massive mistake not having some sort of gun.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just going for the absolute cheeky peek. Not successful, but...
Yeah, like that spot will be covered by the sentry gun if you put it in the middle.
Wow, he dies to that. Yeah, I didn't notice the trap there. So now that they're missing a player and they don't have the gun, we really should see some... Oh, we're just seeing a trade. Okay.
Yeah, it worked before.
There's no multi though, so this should not be successful for NoG. Oh, but they get a pick, so maybe that's going to equalize it in their favor.
I mean, they're definitely going to try. So they're in deep. Kurt's going to go down though on the other side here. There's just going to be... Both teams have each their own side. And this
More headshots out of Silver. He's just railing shots off.
Yeah, and did you see that absolutely disgusting save there by Riot? Like, he did the respawn bind, and he should have been dead.
I didn't catch that.
Like, he was basically outside of spawn when he switched back. It looked really dumb, and there was like a rocket just coming in there to get him. But that was a really successful last hold there. A lot of factors going on there that allowed them to hold that last. So that was just basically clutching it out. It's not like they defended it that well.
I think the critical factor there was that NoG tried to do their pocket scout single trade into them with their player advantage. But the thing is, the red team TBZ, they didn't multi, they only flashed on their demo, thus allowing them to really hold down that door for the full like 8 or 9 seconds of the Uber. But forget about that. We're going to see them push in, and they are pretty close. Can they pop onto the Medica, or they're going to go for frags?
Well, Locke takes a lot of damage, but not quite. It was only the demo man that actually was onto the medic there, and killing a medic as a solo demo man was not very easy indeed.
I really like that, to be honest. I think many teams, they kind of over-prioritize killing the medic, like a Locke in that instance, but I think if you get frags, it can make pushing into second here very feasible. They really should, they need to force Locke and survive here, so...
Wait, why did he pop?
He was getting bombed, but that's kind of a Locke pop. Typically we see Locke either completely drop or pop on full HP.
He had 150 health when he popped.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure his heal target was like fine as well, so that was a very weird pop. Not sure what's going on there. I must have missed something.
He was getting bombed. It's quite possible that he could have got synced there, so I respect it.
Alright, okay. I'll take your word for it. I think I missed something. Connor wants to go in, but he actually takes a lot of damage. Super goes down to the sticky trap. So this Uber not starting off well. Gonna jump in depth, super deep. Actually gets Locke kind of trapped in, but the medic is not able to catch up with him and save him. It's gonna be Def dying and Locke surviving.
Yeah. Red team are not going to be able to stay in here unless they get the point, because the blue spawn ad. Yeah. When you get those sorts of picks on middle, like 2 picks, and the mid escapes, and I really think when you go into second, you sack them, yeah, but it's critical that you retain, like, at least 4 of your players, ideally 5, if you're going to go for the force and Locke in that case. Because if you just lose too many players, the reverse thing's going to happen to you, and they just push back into middle, as we saw.
Yeah, Goose continues to just be super sack friendly, and that's just going to be the start of a push. They basically have a man advantage just going into this. Dog's going to be on point, just get chewed up immediately. They're actually not putting time onto the point, but the demo man is still forced to get onto it. They're going to jump in here. Soldier's actually coming with the respawn, takes down the scout, but they eventually, everyone just gets chewed up and 2-0.
They just got swarmed. Losing those players in lobby is fucking pretty brutal. You can't really do it, I think. You're just going to lose 90% of the time.
Yeah, I feel like Goose has been way too aggressive just in general, but there in specific. As he just ended up being an easy pick, and then they could just ride the momentum off of that. So it's going to jump in very aggressive onto the demo man there. Doesn't kill him this time, but he does get some damage on him.
I appreciate that sort of soldier aggression, but at what point does it just become feeding, you know? Like that.
Yeah.
Locke should die here. Oh, he gets the kit! No, wow.
Oh. Yeah, give Soldier 5 rockets.
Oh, Super doesn't chase Locke! I can't believe it.
They actually go to defend the medic, and probably a good thing he did. because they actually lost to Cookie. Cookie just destroyed him. Now it's going to be a demo. Yeah, demo versus Scout with a medic on him. It was like the weirdest ulti-duo match I've ever seen.
That was so peculiar. Like, I swear the blue team lost there because the Lockers are going to die, and then he survives, and then they end up losing, and then they win again after Cookie gets attacked. Very, very fucking odd.
Yeah, like, there's 100% like someone who made a call, like, come back and defend our medic. Right?
Yep.
Because if you just look at him, it doesn't make sense what he did, so there's almost certainly a call that made him do what he did. Silver actually gets the drop on his soldier. He was hiding in the corner. That was Goose.
Ryan
being
is
really far forward.
Oh, he's so low, dude. Do you see this? He's really risking it, I think.
Yeah, he likes to live dangerous.
Hurt's leaking a soldier. This is quite cool. You don't see this a whole lot.
Oh, medic
And they
gets
get the
forced
force
up.
and 2 frags.
Yeah, those 2 frags are really important here because that means that there's just no way they can actually do.
Oh, poor Fletcher. I really respect that. He's just a little off the timing. That could have been pretty power if he had landed on the medic.
I feel like Riot has done some really nice plays where he just unfortunately happens to time it just like a half a second wrong.
Watch out for this death trap down here. They do realize it's down there, so they shouldn't die to it. They will push upper, I believe.
Yeah, like those lower sticky traps are really good, but as soon as you see the demo man, you don't fall for them anymore, and they're just going to come in here on the right side. They're trying to milk the Uber and not use it, and
They're not
they're
getting
in very
forced though. Yeah, very late Uber, very aggressive Uber. Should completely crush them back into the spawn.
Yeah, everyone just dies. It's really been a common theme that I've noticed is that they just go for all the kills and then they don't put pressure onto the point. We've seen, like especially 7 was very notorious on Snake Water for just clearing the point of stickies immediately and just diving people onto it. So like if you had Uber disadvantage, you couldn't go into spawn because they just cap point immediately. But this is kind of the opposite approach.
Oh yeah, in Australia we like to just fucking kill people, bro, and then just cap afterwards. Points before point, someone said.
Yeah. It's like in general, I think it depends a lot on the situation. On Snake Water, been very
choices,
cool, yeah, alright, so we have Silver's going to come in here from the side. That should end this mid for sure. Demo Man's going to stay in here, try to buy some time, but oh my god, everyone just gets completely crunched. Connor, if he gets out, it's a small Christmas miracle. Yeah, he's just going to kill himself before the 2 soldiers land on his head. That's going to be a very strong mid.
This is something the top teams have gotten a lot better at lately, is that they're on mids when they gain a player advantage, they really are good at grinding out and not feeding unnecessarily and really accumulating that advantage over time and slowly just crushing the enemy via attrition. Which is, I think it's a more European thing to do that.
Yeah, that sounds very familiar for sure. No, Locke's going to have this full Uber advantage, and they're just trying to make sure that everyone's fully buffed and trying to figure out where the enemy medic is. And
is that Fletcher? What's he doing? Oh, there he is. Right, it's hiding underneath. NoG are very partial towards their roller Uber, so let's see how they use it. Focusing the heavy initially, and then the gun should die to spam, and we should see some sort of collapse very soon. Oh, but that's why Riot, he kills the demo. He's making a lot of space for his team. Are they going to help him out?
Yeah, so now this is a pretty dicey situation. They need to get players to die quickly, otherwise they're going to get pushed back, and this push is going to end in disaster. And looks like that's what's going to kind of happen here. They do get the enemy medic though, so that's the saving grace. If Locke can survive this, not quite. So this would kind of show the whole dive the point immediately kind of thing I was talking about, right? If you don't get the kills, you will just lose, right? Yeah. Because eventually the respawners will come in here. Yeah, Envid put on a ton of pressure. He doesn't die. He takes a lot of damage though, and it's just going to be a full-on fight. They don't want to give off this point. It looks like they will succeed with doing that, and good job.
It's actually pretty power being able to defend the enemy's second point as the blue team coming in here. A lot of the time, I find it's just much easier to hold than the other way around, I think.
Yeah, Hurt's going to come in because Silver tries to chase down this soldier. Yeah, trade with Riot.
They're going to make space for this heavy that they must protect them.
Yeah, just the big jump in here. Medic close to going down. Connor actually does some definitely dodging here.
Multi-scouter?
No. Not quite able to get onto the point in time there. Just a bit too much damage and and distance done to it. That's going to be 4-0.
Yeah.
A much better map than the first one, but it's still pretty conclusive, I'd say, who the better team is in this match.
I'm inclined to agree. I really think they could have won that defense had they kept the heavy up. But like, if you don't protect them, you might as well be the squishiest class in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's yeah, you're better off having gotten that point because
Look
he's
at
in
this
a big
aggro.
thing.
Wow, what an incredible air shot! I believe that was from Doge on Ryan. Just completely I can't say that on stream, but
the goose is
doing
not
something
loose,
to
the
Ryan's
goose is
fellow.
dead. Connor, make sure that nobody gets the credit on him. That's good. Make sure that the logs aren't quite as good. Well done.
Yeah, I think that's important. Because it's all about the TF2 metrics at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Do you guys have that?
The TF2 metrics?
Yeah, it's like some stats. Fucking. I'm actually not going to talk about it because it's revolting, but it's basically a ranking system. So.
Oh, right. I know there's this. Oh, is it the TF2 metrics that will it just does a bunch of number crunching and stuff? Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that for every region, right?
Yeah. We should forget about it. Although that being said, right, it does pad his metrics for the body shot and cookie. So they should be pushing it here. A pretty decent Uber. Although, wow, Doge goes down immediately to the death trap. That's definitely a death trap. Are they
Yeah, on
retreating?
top of the house.
They should.
With the-
Ryan gets in with pipe. He'd be so upset about that. I'd be frothing.
And now we're going to
just
see the scout put pressure onto the point. He actually does get pushed back, and
Indra has to die here, I think. Oh, he's... Wow. Why are they not collapsing, man? They really should just be collapsing.
yeah, Connor's actually spawned now, so now there's going to be heals again. This is how long this fight has been. The medic died, came back, and now he's healing. And like somehow this fight is just as close as ever. 2 soldiers bomb in. Connor surfs around, survives on 17 HP, and now the Doman goes down. And this was just a bit too slow. Doge, is he going to do anything? Yeah, he's going to die. So that was a really long, drawn-out and slow fight.
Both teams look completely befuddled by indecision there. Like, some people committing, some people not. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that
Ryan needs to be careful here. He's very low. He could well die.
I feel like we just saw a mid-fight on last, except one team has better spawns because it's on last.
Yeah.
But yeah, Soldier's going to jump in very aggressive on Lock. Lock goes down.
The Uber obviously wasn't relevant there, but you can really appreciate just how easy it is to push in to second from grass if the enemy is far back. Like, I hate having to hold there on second. It's just so hard.
Yeah, end with almost dying, but that's going to be a perfect push to end off a perfect match. 10-0 overall. Good stuff.
I think Snake Warrior is the map where the team that wins the mid fight has like the highest win percentage chance of like any map, as far as I understand.
Huh.
Because it's just so. I think that's what I recall. But basically, it's usually very easy to transition that momentum from middle into last, but pushing out from last is much harder. Like pushing into second from last and second into middle is just a fucking nightmare. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's the big factor, because it's not like on Granary where it seems like you're very likely to win last compared to if you just win mid.
Yeah.
Like I think that's much easier on Granary than say Snake, but then pushing out of Granary last is much easier than pushing out of Snake last.
I agree entirely.
Yeah,
Well,
so I think that was a big factor.
We got any logs to call, mate? Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Deft top damaging, pretty cool. Would not have expected that. He got a tremendous amount of heals though.
Yeah, and also I feel like the defending Demo Man tends to do more damage than the aggressing Demo Man. That makes sense, because he's like popping off Sticky Trap. It wasn't like they were only defending, but very often I see this on like Golliwos or something when there's a big stalemate. Like the team that's holding the like last or second compared to mid, that Demo Man will have way more damage. That's kind of interesting.
So I'm not going to say that was a necessarily a very close game. Quite dominant display.
I feel like that Thunderbirds, they deserved a round or two. This I don't
absolutely.
feel 5-0 is completely accurate. The winner is accurate, but they could have gotten a round or two. I feel like that would have been right.
You know, it totally could have happened. There were a couple of times where I really thought they had it. just went awry for whatever reasons. Yeah, a lot of heals on Deft. I do think having such a high. I'm not saying that's the reason, but I do think the more modern thing to do is have a bit more heals on the pocket scout and stuff than the demo these days. But that's probably not
Yeah, it's
relevant.
usually pretty marginal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Cookie.
it's just a better team.
Yeah, Cookie's getting the heals and getting the kills as well. Had another very good game. So
Not too much to go on from that.
no, it's not the most interesting one. I feel like Goose was much too aggressive. It didn't quite work out, and he was very often trying to be a hero, and as it was, he just kind of ended up being an easy pick.
Well, it's such a fine envelope, you know, like playing with Roma. Like you're too passive and you're useless, and then you go slightly too aggressive, and now you're feeding. You know.
Yeah, it's about finding a balance.
Roma
Sure.
is probably the most unforgiving role in this game at the moment. I'd say.
Definitely the role that feels the worst a lot of the time.
Why do you, I switched from? Yeah, that's why I switched, bro. I'm a pocket scout now, so everything's easy.
Oh yeah, so you can actually have like a positive KD because now
Yeah.
it's you that feeds off of the soldiers.
Walk around with full charge Uber, get the entire Uber duration, and all you have to do is click on people. Can you imagine it?
I don't know. I've always been bad at clicking on people. I don't know. They keep moving whenever I put my crosshair on them. It's super annoying.
It does require a bit of Kovacs to get good at, I suppose.
Yeah. Give me some splash where I can like miss by a bunch and still get the damage. Thank you.
Yeah. So shall we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we're getting any interviews in here, but not too many interesting questions we can ask. Do we know who they're gonna meet next, NoG?
Yeah, we haven't seen
All
that.
right.
Which happens to be my team, by the way.
Do you feel like you have a chance of winning that?
Oh, we're absolutely guaranteed to win. 100%. No.
All right, so tune in to watch that thrashing for sure.
Yeah. So what was that? The 27 ozfortress lower page playoffs, NoG vs Thunderbirds, 5-0-5-0.
Nailed it.
Yep. Okay. Cool. I'm done.
All right, see you guys when we see you. Not sure when the game is, but we'll be around to cast it, or someone will. Have a good day and have a good night wherever you are.
No.